Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Liz of Chicago Law Luxury Makeup. For today's video, we're going to be playing with and testing out a bunch of new to me makeup. So if you're curious to see the products I use and how I created this look, keep watching. To start with, we're going to use primer. I am going to go ahead and use my Sicily Double Teinture, and I'm going to tell you why. So I did film this video before. The quality I just wasn't happy with. I wasn't happy. So I'm refilming. I did film it several weeks ago, so some things may have changed. My skin has changed. The color of my skin is different. So maybe these products are going to work better. One of the products that I used that just did not work was the foundation. So this is a new Hourglass Ambient Soft Glow Foundation. Now, when I tested this, I used a brand new primer. And the foundation did not work for me. And I didn't think that was fair because it was also a new primer. So in order to give this foundation another shot, see how it works, I wanted to use a primer that I know works well with my skin. And that is the Sicily Double Teinture. So that is why I'm using that. I do have a new primer that I do want to test out with some other foundations, but looking back, I didn't think it was fair that I used both a new primer and a new foundation at the same time. It didn't work. So we're going to give this foundation a go again. It's the Hourglass Ambient Soft Glow Foundation, and I have shade 5.5. This is the bottle. It's a frosted glass. There is a 12-month shelf life, and it was made in Korea. So I am going to pump a little bit out into my hand. I'm going to do 2 pumps. I also can't tell you if the shade is going to work for me. The first time that I used it, it did not work. Yeah, look how yellow that is. I'm going to blend, and hopefully it'll kind of blend down. Oh God, it's awful. It's still awful, you guys. So many people love this foundation, but it does not work for me. And I don't know if it's the shade or it's the consistency. I'm going to get up close, and I'm also going to try and zoom. It is so drying on my skin. So drying. It just doesn't work. The color ended up being decent. It was able to kind of blend down, but it is just super drying. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to trust the process and see if I can make it work. But right off the bat, I think it is super drying. I would probably want to use a very hydrating primer, maybe, is what I should have done. I do have the Bobbi Brown one and some other moisturizers that are super hydrating. But I'm just going in with a little bit because I think the more I use, the worse it's going to look. I will continue to play with this. I'll just kind of try out different primers. The first primer that I used was the Rare Beauty primer, and it did not work. And I would say that the Sicily doesn't work either. Which is a shame. The Sicily is like my holy grail go-to, works with everything, but not this. So you can see I have a good amount of foundation left on my hand, and I'm just gonna stop because I've got enough on my face. For concealer, I'm gonna go in with the Chanel Allure Corrector. This is shade B20. This is the newest concealer that I have, and this formula is new to me. I had previously used the Chanel Allure Corrector, but in their older formula, and I loved it. This one I haven't noticed any issues with. I love it just as much. I don't really notice a difference, to be honest. I'm going to go ahead and prime my eyes. I don't have a new eye primer either, so I just got out the Hourglass eye primer. So what I do is I just squeeze a little bit out into my hand and then mix it together and apply it. Or mix my fingers together to divide the product and then apply it. So let that sit down while we finish the rest of my face. I do not have a new face powder, so I'm going to go ahead and use the Hourglass, which I have used multiple times. However, I have a new face brush. This is the brand new Sonia G Jumbo Bronzer. It is really big. I really like it. However, I love my Chikuhodo F01 for bronzer, and you can kind of see like the difference in size. The Jumbo Bronzer from Sonia G is a little bit bigger, so I thought this would make a really nice face powder brush. So that's what we're going to try and use it for today. So I did get good pickup, and we're just going to apply it. I do not have a good natural haired face powder brush, and I have been looking, and I haven't found the one that I want yet. And so when I saw this, I thought this would be perfect for face powder too, and it worked perfectly. So I will keep using this for powder and let you guys know what my thoughts are later on. So far, I'm really liking it. I do have a new bronzer. So this is the NARS Cream Bronzer in Laguna, and that is what it looks like. I will swatch it for you. So that is what it looks like. It's very creamy. I will compare it to the Charlotte Tilbury Cream Bronzer. And again, Charlotte Tilbury is much thicker. It was in shade 2 medium. And then I have the Chanel Cream Bronzer in Universal. Just much thinner, much more emollient. And then I will also swatch the Chanel in Deep. As far as shade goes, they're pretty much similar to the Charlotte Tilbury and the Chanel. So I'm going to take my Bobbi Brown Full Coverage Face, and we'll tap this in and then blend. I really like this bronzer. It goes down on top of other products really nicely. I think it gives beautiful coverage as well as color onto the face. I'm really impressed. So again, this is the new cream bronzer in Laguna. For blush, I have a new blush. This is the Gucci Cheek and Eyes Powder Luminous Matte, and I have shade number 6, Warm Berry. I did pick up a total of 3 of the blushes, and the first one that I'm going to use is number 6. This is the one that I was definitely most excited for. This is Warm Berry. I will go ahead and swatch Warm Berry for you. So that is what it looks like. It looks like just a beautiful rosewood shade, which is what I typically wear. So I'm just going to tap a little bit in with my brush, and then we'll blend. It's pretty pigmented. That is a very pigmented blush. Super pigmented. I definitely went in with a heavy hand, and I did not need to. So there is Warm Berry. I am excited to try the other shades that I picked up. So now we're going to go in with highlighter. I have a highlighter from Merit. This is the Day Glow, and I have shade Bounce. So this was gifted. There's the packaging, and there's what Bounce looks like. So I'm just going to swatch it here for you. So it shows up a lot lighter than it looks in here. In the bullet, it looks pretty bronzy, but when I swatch it, it does give a nice highlight. So I just swiped it on straight from the bullet, and now I'm going to use my BK Beauty 106 to tap and blend it in. It gives a beautiful highlight. However, it does leave my skin feeling tacky or balmy, which I don't like. So I will go ahead and add a powder highlighter on top of it. But I did want to show you guys what it looks like by itself. It is beautiful. It gives a very nice natural glow. You know, it's not emphasizing any texture, just gives off this nice radiant glow. Like I said, my only complaint is that it is very balmy and it doesn't actually, it doesn't dry down. So I will go ahead and top it. I have a Pat McGrath highlighter here, and this is in shade Golden Nectar. So we'll just add a little bit of powder highlight on top to kind of set that balm down. I will go in with my Sonia G Smooth Buffer to then buff that highlight down just a little. For eyeshadow, I have the brand new Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, shade Nouveay. I wasn't gonna pick this up, you guys, and then I had FOMO. Everybody was talking about it, everybody was raving on it, and I was like, okay, I have to pick it up then. So this is what it looks like. I think it's perfect for fall. I think the color story is perfect for creating everyday looks, and that is exactly what we're gonna do today. So I'm gonna start with this shade down here in the corner. This is shade Floor, and this is a matte. And I'm gonna take that into the crease. So that shade blended down really nicely. It's not as creamy as, say, the Natasha Denona mattes or even the new Chanel mattes, but that the new Chanel tweeds. However, it is a nice formula and it did blend really nicely. I'm gonna go in now with this shade down here in the corner. This is it looks like a satin, and it's called Muse. And I'm going in with that same brush. This is the Sonia G Classic Crease. I got a lot of product when I went in without even trying. I mean, and that was a lot of pickup. It's a little bit darker than I anticipated. I'm going to go in with a Sonia G Blender Pro. This is a clean brush, and I'm going to use that to blend because I got so much product. I mean, even trying to use a clean brush to blend, it was so pigmented. A little bit goes a long way with that shade Muse. Don't do what I did, and I wasn't trying to go for a super smoky eye look, but I guess that's what we're doing today. Next, I'm going to go to this shade down here. This is Lily. It looks like a metallic. I'm going to take a Sonia G Worker Pro and put that on the lower lid. So this definitely has glitter particles in it. Which is not my favorite, but it is creamier than some glitter toppers that I've tried in the past. So this one is usable in my opinion. I'm going to take a BK Beauty 207 and I'm going to go into this shade right here called Isle. And it's like a shimmer highlight shade that I'm going to pop in that inner corner. Here is a matte down here called Paloma, and I'm going to pick up a little bit with my brush and just run it underneath my brow bone. I'm going to go back in with that blending brush. This is the Sonia G Blender Pro, and just blend the crease. going to take that same BK Beauty 207 and very, very lightly go into that brown shade Muse and take it under the eye. Now that I know just how pigmented it is, I'm going to be careful. Take the same brush, and I'm going to go into that very first shade we used, Floor, and run it under their eye as well. So there is the eye look using the brand new Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. I've been trying a lot of new eyeshadow lately, a lot. And if I'm being honest, I don't think that this formula is better than some of the other products that I've tried. The new Natasha Denona My Dream collection, that palette is beautiful. The formula, the different formulas of those shadows are just amazing. I absolutely love them. I used the new Sydney Grace palette. Those mattes and those creams, those shimmers are amazing. They're so easy to work with. The new Chanel Tweeds and the new Chanel Fall collection. Those formulas were so easy to blend. They basically, the eye looks almost just created themselves, right? They were gorgeous. This one took a little bit of work. It's not my favorite. It is not. And I have seen different reviews on this where people, this is like their #1 palette that they have picked up lately. It's just not for me. It's just not. So I'm going to keep playing with it. I'm going to use some of the other shadows to create other looks. The first time that I used it, I used the greens. And I got the same result. It was just too much. It was just too much. So I'm going to keep playing. If I had to pick between this and say the Natasha Denona, I would pick the Natasha Denona hands down every single time. I got out a new eyeliner to use, and this is the Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in shade Limitless Brown. However, I don't necessarily think that this eye look needs a liner, so I'm not going to use one today. I will save this for another video. I do have a new mascara. So I picked up this Sephora's, some sort of like Sephora kit that had all sorts of different makeup products in it, which had the Rare Beauty primer. It also had this sample, this deluxe size of the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. So that's what we're going to use today. Here is the wand. The wand reminds me of the Bite Beauty Upswing mascara. That's what this reminds me of. It's the same type of wand. It's really big. It's really fluffy. But it's got a very distinct shape to it. So I think if you were a fan of the Bite Beauty, this would be a good alternative, since the Bite Beauty is, they're going out of business. So there is the first eye with the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. My right side with the mascara and my left side without. So I will go ahead and finish this off camera, and then we'll be back to play with some new lip products. All right, so there's the finished eye look. It's definitely more glam than I was trying for, but overall, I think it looks good. It just took a lot of work to get there. For lips, I do also have a Makeup Forever liner in Wherever Walnut. So we're going to use this on my lips today. This was also in that Sephora kit that I purchased. I thought that Sephora kit was a really, really good deal. I did unbox it or talk about it on Instagram. I will link it down below if it's still available. It had a lot of really good products in it. So I'm going to use this to line my lips. And then I've got a couple different of the new Chanel Rouge Allures. I have shade 199, Attendu, which is pretty dark. And then I have shade 195, Mise Anu, which I think is probably what I will use. A little bit lighter. So we'll start with the liner. and see how this works. These liners from Makeup Forever can be used as an eyeliner or a lip liner. They are not specified. All right, so this is the new Chanel Rouge Allure shade 195 Mise à Nu. Here's the finished look. I really like that lipstick. I think that those two shades worked really well together. And I love the formula of the new Chanel Rouge Allure lipsticks. And I should specify, it's not a new formula. They added a bunch of nude colors and I'm loving every single one that I picked up. But there's the finished look. Let me know what you guys think. Have you tried any of these products? Did you have the same experience I did with the foundation? Let me know. I can't be the only one who tried it and thought that my skin just looked bad. It just was too drying for me. Like I said, I will continue to play with it, but first impression, not impressed. Not at all. I thought that the new Gucci blush was really nice. It was extremely pigmented. I am excited to try the other shades and see how those work. The new NARS bronzer is fabulous and it's definitely going to become a staple in my weekly bronzer rotation. I think that it is just gorgeous. The Merit highlighter, I think it gives a beautiful glow. However, like I said, I don't like that balmy, tacky feeling that it leaves behind. So it's probably not one that I would reach for very often. I already talked about the eyeshadow palette. For me, it's just when I compare it to the others that I have recently picked up and reviewed, this wouldn't be one that I would continue to pick up compared to those others. But I will keep using it and try and mix the shadows, or the different shadows together and see if I can come up with an eye look that really I just love. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope everyone is staying safe and healthy, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.